Well, give me a second. I'm Tom Young. We're here to do an update on what I did earlier today on the podcast. And it's just important to get this out. I've had real problems in the last week with everything. My computer crashed and I lost my access to my site. But anyway, I'm back. It's fixed. I spent time today. We finally got it fixed. I want to continue my discussion. I started today, and you'll find it's just a green screen behind me because I tried to get something out there without my program here that I'm using right now. But anyway, I want to talk about the infinite banking concept. When I met R. Nelson Nash 20-some years ago, I originally had a copy of his book, and there's his book, current book, and it was green at that time and tan like a military manual, and I put it on the shelf. And I never looked at the book until I ended up president of an organization, and the committee had set up speakers for the meeting, and they brought in Nelson Nash to talk. And it was an 8-hour presentation, and I was the MC at that meeting, and I had to be there all day, so I had to listen to Nelson. It was the beginning of changing my life because it was the tools to help me get control of my cash flow, get control of my debt and what was going on in my life, and it just made an unbelievable difference. I owned lots of permanent whole life insurance with a dividend-paying mutual insurance company, and that's another story for another day. I had a heart attack at age 56, had a load of term insurance, and I converted it. Fortunately, I was able to convert it to permanent dividend-paying whole life insurance. And this concept, it really gives you the beginnings of understanding the banking process. You know, the most profitable process in business is banking. And if we can control that banking, and here's an example of that. I do this and I explain it to people. Let's say you get out of college, you're 22, 23 years old, you got your first job, and you need automobiles. So you go down to the dealership and you buy a used car. Today, a good used car is $25,000. Finance it for 60 months at 8% interest. So your payment's $500 and some a month. At the end of 60 months, you paid $5,400 to the banking institution to use their money. Now, in doing that, you were part of the key process that allows the bank to practice fractional banking, which means if you put $10,000 in the bank as a saver, they create 10 loans, $10,000 in loans out of that $1,000. That, my friends, is pure inflation. Now, everybody is complaining about the price of food going up, the price of gasoline, everything is going up in price because of inflation. So if you're doing banking and you're managing your capital in the typical way that we all have done in the past, the way we were taught and trained to do it through the local bank uptown, it is really very, very hard to do that without creating inflation. So the way that we do this in doing that, now that $5,400 in interest, had it been invested at 8% interest, at 70 years old, when you've just stepped into the retirement world, that one car costs you, opportunity cost, equal to $253,000. You buy another car every 5 years, and you do that throughout your life. You buy 10 cars, finance them the same way. So now you've lost $770,000. You're going to live another 20 years, and that $770,000 now equates to more than 1.5 million. So when I meet people in my planning and coaching people with their personal finances, their lives, their businesses and everything, It's really what I do for a living. I find the money that you're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily and show you how to get it back. The key ingredient to that knowledge that I have is, in fact, the infinite banking concept. It has taught me how to manage money uniquely different than the typical financial world teaches us. In part one that I did earlier today, I talked about my clients. They're two doctors. Their son's going to college. We were able to borrow money from the large cash value from the insurance company using their cash value as collateral. Son's going to pay it back because paying it back to mom and dad is going to make the money available again to buy cars with. He's going to get married and going to need to get a mortgage on a house. So maybe that also is used by that. And now insurance on the son is going to begin to do the same thing. So now we've started the next generation, and then eventually will be the third generation. And these dollars continue to grow extremely valuable over generations of time, and it locks out the government. There are no 1099s, there's no taxes to pay, and if it's managed properly, it creates an unbelievable future benefit for the next and the next generation of your family. So with that being said, and I'm going to go through this more and more, I'm going to open up the door, and I'm going to do several parts of this infinite banking. But from my heart to you, I talked earlier today about the coin, and there's the coin, the little copper coin that I use. There it is. And it's a unique coin. On the back of it is the eagle. There's my building and the eagle on the back of it. And I spend every day of my life teaching people how to make their eagle fly. Part of that is learning how to build and accumulate capital that is accessible for emergencies and opportunities at the same time. So as we continue this journey, now that I've got my platform back up and operating, we're going to continue this journey for several weeks as I go through the infinite banking concept and how I've made other people truly, truly financially independent, more financially successful than they ever thought they could be. You need to contact me. Now, there's a gift for you. My free book, The Family Money Farm, it's right there, going over the top. You can get it by going to cfo-project.com. There it is. Put in your name and email address, and you can get copies of both of my books, The Family Money Farm, plus Financial Mastery Coaching, which is another book. You can get them both for free download. God bless you all, and we'll see you here again in a couple of days as we continue our journey in unmasking the infinite banking concept. God bless. Bye-bye.